did not teach this lesson. I was in math this semester, but I was really jealous because they were learning about Anne Frank, and that's what they did their research unit on, was the Holocaust. So I decided I wanted to make an Anne Frank mini lesson as an introduction to their research unit and as an introduction to them reading the play. They don't read the actual diary, they read the play in the literature book. So here's our lesson overview. The essential question is, who is Anne Frank and what was her relationship to the Holocaust? None of these kids in 8th grade have any idea who she is until they get there, unless they saw it like in 6th or 7th grade, but they really have no clue like the impact or anything like that. Okay, the objective is students will begin learning how to research and gain important information from a website. Students will then translate that information into a meaningful paragraph filled with their original ideas and facts from their chosen website. I chose their website. Alright, a little bit of background information about the Holocaust, because this whole unit is researching specific things in the Holocaust. That's what their research unit is about. So I just gave them a quick little fact about it and some pictures that I pulled off of the United States Holocaust Museum Memorial website. Okay, it says the Holocaust was a systematic, bureaucratic, state-sponsored persecution and murder of approximately 6 million Jews by the Nazi regime and its collaborators. A little bit of, this is the first thing they get to hear about it. Okay, Hitler, the Jews, and concentration camps. Just little snippets of factual information, because it's going to be their job to pick a topic and research it further. So I didn't want to give a whole bunch of knowledge when they need to figure it out on their own. Hitler was the leader of Nazi Germany. He persecuted Jewish people, which ended up with many of them going into hiding to avoid having to be forced into a concentration camp. And a concentration camp was a place of pure torment for the Jewish people. They were forced to work with little food and shelter, many not ever making it out of the camps alive. Anne who? Okay. Anne Frank, I'm not going to tell you anything about Anne except for Anne was a middle school age child filled with curiosity and a zest for life. The question you have to answer is, who is Anne Frank really? And what does she have to do with the Holocaust? To start our research unit, you are going to answer these questions using a reputable, reliable website. The reason why I focused on reputable, reliable website is to get you away from those crappy sites that
Wikipedia.
Exactly, Wikipedia, all the .coms where the information is not necessarily correct, accurate, anything like that, okay? So we come to the computer lab to do our activity. Okay, everybody's in our computer lab. Isn't it beautiful? Because we all have to come here because we don't have computers in our classrooms. Okay? It is your job to figure out who Anne Frank was and how she was connected to the Holocaust. You will do this by visiting the website listed below.
Which is reliable and...
Which is reliable. It definitely is. It is full of great information. Once you are on the site, you will browse around, read and gather information. You must gather at least 5 facts about Anne Frank. After you've gathered your research, you will construct a paragraph using what you found and your own original thoughts and what you read. So let's go ahead and take a look at this website. It's www.annefrank.org. It's very awesome if you'll go to it. Alright, this website is fabulous. It is filled with history on Anne Frank, a museum. You can also, for those of you who know, you can actually go and view where they were stuck, behind the bookcase where they lived. There's a virtual tour. It gives you all these facts about the museum. And pretty much it's going to be their job. If they were smart, they would come here and look here, the life of Anne Frank. It tells you all about her, who she was, what her relationship to the Holocaust was, a timeline of where she was when it all started, when she went into hiding, when her family had, whatever, when she actually was found, when she was taken to the camp, when she did not live, whatever. And then the secret annex online is actually really awesome. We're going to look at it. You can actually explore it and do a 3D. It's so awesome. I love this. It's like so fun. You can actually look like...
After Hitler's rise to power in Germany in 1933, the Frank family, who are Jewish, moved to the Netherlands. They find a place to live on the Merwedeplein in Amsterdam. Life seems good and safe. Quite a few other German immigrants live in this area. Anne and Margot make friends with other young girls and play with them on the streets and at home. They're also happy at their school. Otto Frank's businesses are doing increasingly well. He has his Opekta business, and he also sets up Pecticon, a spice company, with Herman van Pels, another Jewish immigrant. The Frank family feels safe, but everything changes in May 1940, when German forces invade the Netherlands. Jews start to face endless restrictions. They're not allowed out on the streets after 8 in the evening and can't ride the trams. They also can't own businesses. Anne and Margot even have to leave their ordinary school and go to a Jewish-only school. Otto is worried things will get worse. He's worried that Jews won't be able to live in the Netherlands anymore, and that they might even be killed. He doesn't want to wait for that to happen. He and his business partner, Herman van Pels, decide that they and their families will go into hiding on their business premises on the Prinsengracht Canal. The building has an empty annex at the back. Otto Frank asks his 4 employees for their help and cooperation. All of them immediately agree.
You can listen to the rest of it. It talks about where they go into hiding. My favorite part is this. They call it the secret annex because, like they said, it was in the building they worked in, but hardly anybody knew that it existed. And my whole goal is for them to actually spend some time playing and searching around this website because it's filled with so much information, and it's definitely helpful for any of the topics that they chose, because they got a list of about 20 or 30 things they could, anything they wanted to do that had to do with the Holocaust. Now, they couldn't necessarily do Anne Frank because they're reading that and they're going to spend a lot of time, but you could explore and go into every, let's see if it'll do it. It may not. Anyways, you can slide the bookcase out of the way, go in the door, go through the things, see where they live, and they recreate how it looked like the small table that they talk about in the book. Anyway, it's a whole lot of great information, and it's really kind of fun to play around. But here's the bookcase. And we're going to the hallway. And it like does the virtual thing so the kids could see how small it really was. They were confined to this space. They weren't allowed to go outside. And it kind of helps put into their mind the seriousness of what they were doing at the time. This is the stairway.
In the secret annex is small and dark. Nothing would lead you to suspect that there's so much hidden space behind the doors and the stairs. A whole house full of rooms, and even an attic and small loft. It's pretty spacious for a hiding place.
Okay, so anyways, that's my goal there. Okay, then at the end of my thing, they're supposed to spend some time searching the website, finding the facts, using the information that they gained from the website, and just writing a short paragraph, maybe something along the lines of, Anne Frank was a young girl whose family was Jewish during, the time when, everything was bad, blah, 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 blah. Her and her family went into hiding. This is what happened to Anne, blah, blah, blah. If I was a child during this time and I was Jewish, how would this affect? It could lead into a whole different world of questioning, especially because Anne Frank was the same age as most of our middle school children, so. And then my last thing is giving credit where credit is due, because that's one big thing. They don't have to cite their sources as extensively in middle school as they do in high school and college, but they do have to say where they got their information from, and it's imperative that they know that they give credit to the person who actually did the work, which is why I said regardless of where you get any kind of research, you must cite your sources and give credit to those who did the real work. You going and finding it is not the real work, okay? And so here, everything that I used to find the information to make this little mini lesson, I put the websites and that sort of thing, because that's about as in depth as they'll have to go. So they have to do an author of the site, and that's about it. So that's my Anne frank, and then they would read the play and know all about it and then revisit their initial paragraph and see if it changed the way that they thought from what they first found on the website. And that is it. Yay.